Mary Robinette Kowal and Martha Wells are two people that I have not heard get a lot of acknowledgement. And that is so wrong. So wrong. In this video, I'm going to be doing the stay-at-home Reading Rush book tag, as well as giving you my TBR for the stay-at-home Reading Rush. So let's get started. So the first question is, how is your reading going while staying at home? And honestly, it's going so-so. It started off okay. I was sort of sticking to my reading at the end of March, which had helped that I had sort of my goals at the end of the month to stick to. Coming into April, it took me over a week before I actually finished a single book, despite being in the middle of like 5 or 6 different books. While I do think part of it was the fact that I was trying to read a book that I wasn't much enjoying, a book that I have since now, temporarily at least, DNF'd, I also know that the whole situation that's going on right now definitely has influenced my reading patterns. I found myself watching way more TV, wanting to do something and then thinking, no, I want to lay down and nap, or no, I'm just going to watch more TV and just wasting away my time. Now it's April 11th and I've read 5 books. One of those were not even on my TBR. I finally feel like I'm getting in the rhythm of finding things to do while I read. More importantly, finding the motivation, the push to do more than just lay around and do nothing. Yeah, I feel like things are getting better, but at the same time, I had that same thought after the first week. I thought, you know what, this is getting good, and then I had a slump again. It's almost like a roller coaster, and it's really hard to say whether or not my current mood is going to stick, and I really hope it does, because obviously we're still in the middle of this. It's not going anywhere. Where have you been reading while at home? Same places as usual. I've been reading while cooking, while cleaning to an extent. I mean, my house has been in a perpetual state of being cleaned. I keep having laundry done and then telling myself I'm going to fold it and then never doing it. It's sort of the same thing as me not finding motivation to read. When I watch TV, I'm not doing much cleaning. When I'm reading, I'm being productive beyond just reading. I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, I'm doing things that bring me joy beyond just reading. I found myself doing more administrative tasks on my computer while listening to audiobooks, things like organizing folders, making plans for my YouTube page. And then the last one here is biking. I love listening while biking. This last week in particular, I've gotten into the rhythm of going on hour-long bike rides in the evenings, like just around dusk, listening to some audiobooks while I do that. Last night I did it for like an hour and a half, got into a big chunk of audiobook. I was really enjoying the ride, and since it was dusk, there was barely anybody out. I don't know about the rest of you, but I mean, nighttime there's not many people out, so you can kind of travel more safely. I do want to travel more in the daytime. I try to get some biking every day, and that helps me read more too. The best book you've read during isolation? That will have to be the Arc of the Scythe trilogy. Probably Thunderhead. I mean, I already read Scythe, which is right there, and I planned to read this one this month, which I did. And then I immediately dropped everything and I read The Toll, which I do not own. Normally I try and wait to read a book till I at least have it physically, but I couldn't. I had to know what happened. Another one's going to be Song of Achilles, which I only did because I participated in the Queer Weekend-a-thon. That was probably only happening because of nothing else going on because of the isolation, so that's a plus. And then the other one is going to be I Crawl Through It by A.S. King. I loved it so much. You can hear about that in my March reading wrap-up. And then the last one I want to mention is The Faded Sky by Mary Robinette Kowal. I love this series. The next one comes out in July. I'm hoping to get an arc. All those books, fantastic. Love them. What is your favorite feel-good book? This one I feel like it's hard because I don't read a lot of books that are just generally happy, feel-good. I mean, they make me feel good because I love them, but they also make me feel sad at parts. Like Scythe had some pretty devastating parts in here. It's a pretty dark book, but it brought me like Harry Potter level joy that I haven't felt in years. Very happy about. The other one, of course, would I guess this be Harry Potter. That's the easy go-to answer there. And then besides that, I would say something that is a love rereading. 11/22/63 by Stephen King. A book you wish you could borrow from the library or buy. Since I do most of my reading almost exclusively on audio, I can just usually get them on Audible or on Scribd, something like that. I also have my Kindle, which is my preferred method of reading physically. It will narrate to me while I read along because I'm a very slow reader. So I don't really have that much trouble getting to what I want to read. I guess my answer here would probably be some arcs. I already mentioned The Faded Sky. I would love to get the next book for that. There's also going to be The Network Effect coming out May 5th, which is just around the corner. That's a book I would love to get during the isolation. The first full-length novel of the Murderbot series by Martha Wells. This is about a robot who is sentient and he breaks his governor module, which means he can do whatever the hell he wants. He could kill everyone if he wants, nothing's stopping him. But of course he doesn't want to because he's lazy. He just wants to listen to podcasts, watch serials and things like that. So excited for a full-length novel to finish up this series. I really want my hands on that. I have it pre-ordered in the States right now. It's supposed to go to my sister's. I don't know if she'll get it or not. I'll probably end up buying the audiobook, but I would love to have that. One other thing I want to mention here is thriftbooks.com. They're still selling books. I think there might be some slight delays, but I don't think they're major ones. If you order there, you can usually get a book within a week, maybe 2 weeks max. So I highly recommend checking out thrift books if you want to find a book. I mean, a lot of the books I buy are from there. An author you want to shout out during this time? I pretty much already have. Let's start with Neil Shusterman. Thank you so much. I love this series. I haven't felt this much excitement over a series probably since Harry Potter. A.S. King. I'm not going to pull the book down. I loved it. I love her. Martha Wells. You should read the series. They're novellas. They're super short. They're super funny. They're super easy to read. It may seem like high sci-fi because it's the far future, but it's really not. It's really, I guess, standard level sci-fi. I highly recommend checking this series out. Check out the first one. I mean, it's like 100 pages. Can't beat that. Hard to check out. And then lastly, of course, Mary Robinette Kowal, The Faded Sky and Calculating Stars, which The Relentless Moon, the third book, comes out July 14th. All those authors should be checked out. I'm sure a lot of you already know about Neil Shusterman. Mary Robinette Kowal and Martha Wells are two people that I have not heard get a lot of acknowledgement, and that is so wrong. So wrong. Lastly, what is my TBR going to be for the Reading Rush? I'm going to start off with the book that I'm going to read in the same room. It's going to be a short selection of short stories. I never meant to start a murder cult and other stories by Daryl Z. Grizzle. This is a series of short stories that were given to me by the author, actually, who I consider a friend. Hopefully they consider me a friend as well. I've been meaning to read this for the longest time, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity because I need a book to help me stay in the same room. Audiobooks like to move around, so that really doesn't work. So this is the perfect opportunity. It's not that long, and the text is super big. I think this will be an easy one to knock out. The next one is a book to make you smile. For this one, I'm picking a nonfiction book because it was already on my TBR for this month. The Conquest of Happiness by Bertrand Russell. What better way to make a person smile than how to achieve happiness? Look at me, I'm already smiling. The next one's going to be a book with a house on the cover. And for this one, I'm going to be reading The Hazelwood by Melissa Albrecht. Right there. This is a retelling, I think, of Hansel and Gretel. I bought this book last year because it was popular on Book Outlet. I enjoy retellings. I am finally reading this now because the second book is now on Book Outlet. So I figured I'm gonna buy that, which, surprise, I did. I should go ahead and read the first one. The next one is read a book about a place you'd like to go. Another unexpected pick. Cosmos by Carl Sagan. Because where do I want to go? I want to go to space. I want to go into the cosmos. I feel like this is the best book anyone could pick for this prompt. I mean, who doesn't want to go to space? Who doesn't want to go to space? On top of that, this book has been on my TBR the longest of any book. I've had this since 2014. About damn time that I read it. I love the series. I love Carl Sagan. So now is the time. Hallelujah. Those are the books I plan on reading. If you don't know, the Reading Rush prompts were changed after there was some pushback about some insensitivity because some of the prompts revolved around the isolation and the pandemic. So with that in mind, if I make good progress on these, I may still try and tackle those now removed prompts because I challenge myself. One prompt was to read your Desert Island book, which to me would be a book that I feel like has great rereadability. That one I would probably pick either 11/22/63 by Stephen King or Middle Game by Sean McGuire, and a bonus prompt which was to read a book set during a pandemic, or dystopian book rather, and that would be a reread of Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower, which I meant to read in February during Black History Month. So the last three are all maybes. I'm excited to be doing this. I'm tackling at least one book that's already on my TBR and 3 more that were not. Gonna be reading my oldest unread book on my bookshelf, which I am super psyched for. I gotta get those old books moved to my read shelf. That concludes this stay-at-home reading rush and TBR book tag. Is that right? That's not right. It doesn't matter. I hope you enjoyed watching. Hope you have a great day. Let me know what you're reading during the reading rush. See you next time. Stay safe.